If you don't know how to play craps and you want to learn now, I'm going to teach you how to play my mathematically superior approach to playing craps. Even if you've never played craps before, this strategy will have you playing with the lowest house advantage compared to everyone else playing at your table. And I'll show you how to avoid some of the major faux pas so you don't get yelled at for killing the table vibe. So stick around and learn how to play craps the most mathematically sound way today on Jack Ace. What up, donkeys? Jack Haze here with jackace.com, where we cover the mathematics behind games and gambling. Today, I'm going to use my actuarial math degree and 7 years of work experience in online gambling to teach you how to play craps. After watching this video, you'll have all the tools you need to play craps with the lowest possible house advantage. I'm going to show you how to buy in, how to make bets, which bets to make, and how to avoid breaking etiquette while at the table. Now, I'm not going to cover every single bet on the craps layout. Honestly, there are a ton of sucker bets out there, so talking about them would be a complete waste of time. I'm just going to talk about the bets worth betting, and I'm going to narrow this discussion down to what I think is the best and simplest strategy. So let's start with stepping up to the table. The first thing you want to do is find a table. You want to walk up to a table where people are already playing. Craps is a social game, and a lot of the fun comes from being part of a lively crowd having a good time.
That's a 4.
But besides that, you probably don't want the added pressure of being the only person gambling and shooting dice while you're still learning the rhythm of the game. So find a table that's maybe half full and find an open spot. There are 2 sides of a craps table, and each side can support up to 8 players each. So find an open spot and walk up to the table.
This table's hot. I want some of this money. Get me in this game. Come on.
Next is making sure you have a big enough bankroll to play. This is going to be determined by the table limits. Every table has a minimum and a maximum bet that they will allow. So if you plan on betting $5 on the pass line bet, you want to make sure that the table has a $5 minimum or lower. You also want to be aware of what the table maximum is if you're a high roller. But if this is your first time playing, there's not a high likelihood that you're in this category. But whatever your base bet is, you want to make sure you have maybe 20 to 100 times that value. So if your base bet is $10, you want your bankroll to be between $200 and $1,000. So make sure you have the appropriate bankroll and the desired bet amounts that are supported by the table. And if you can't afford the table, you should walk away and try to speak to a pit boss or other casino staff to see if they have tables that fit your limits.
Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at one of our lower stakes tables.
So once you found the right table, you need to buy in. We're going to cover table etiquette in depth later on, but I have to mention here that you don't want to buy in the middle of a roll. You don't want to buy in when the point is established. The quickest way to know whether it's safe to buy in is look at the on-off puck. If the puck is flipped to the on side, that means a roll is in progress. Do not attempt to buy in when the puck is on. This is just one of many superstitions that craps players are famous for. If you buy in while the puck is on, the other players will complain that you're ruining the vibe or the mojo of the table.
I've lost my mojo.
And they can be pretty vocal or even downright mean about it. So you want to wait until the puck is in the off position before attempting to buy in. Once the puck is off, you want to buy in for the full amount you want to gamble with. Don't buy in for half and then put yourself in a situation where you need to buy in for the other half in the middle of a roll. You're going to put that full buy-in amount on the table. Do not hand the money directly to a dealer. They're usually not allowed to accept cash directly from a player.
You have to lay it on the table.
I don't want to bet at all.
You're not allowed to hand me money, sir. You have to lay it on the table if you want me to change it.
They need to count the cash on the table before they exchange it for chips. The dealer will count up your cash and slide over the equivalent amount in casino chips. Take the chips and place them in the rack for your designated spot on the table. You'll notice the chip rack around the table is sectioned off by table position. Now before we bet, let's take a quick look at the craps betting layout. You have the player bet section, the place bet section, and the prop bet section. The player bet section is the area where the player directly places their own bets. This section includes the pass, don't pass, come, don't come, and the field. You might also have the big 6 and big 8 bets, but never ever bet these. The place bet section is where the dealer takes your money and places it on a number according to your wishes. You'd never directly put your own chips there. We'll partially go over this section later on. And finally, we have the prop bet section. A prop bet is short for proposition bet, and these bets represent some of the biggest long shots of the game. Since these are mostly long shots, that usually means they have the worst house edge.
So you're telling me there's a chance
So we're going to stay away from these bets for now. Remember, we're trying to stick with the bets with the smallest house advantage. So now you're comfy in your table section and you're ready to place your first bet. Time to bet. We're going to pretend we're at a $10 minimum table and we want to make a $10 base bet. So now that the puck is off, we're going to make a $10 pass line bet. The pass line bet is the standard craps bet that most people think of when they think of craps. It's not the simplest bet, but when you see people cheering and high-fiving at a craps table, it's usually when the shooter hits their pass line bet. They're not cheering for a field bet, they're not cheering for a C&E, and they're never cheering for a don't pass bet. So when you bet $10 on the pass line, you put $10 directly on the pass line in front of you. With craps, it's very important to place your bets directly in front of you. You'd think that because the pass line area is so big that you'd be able to put your bet anywhere within the bounds, but you'd be wrong. Since there may be many people placing bets in close proximity with each other, it's important for the dealers to know whose bets are whose. And you do that by unambiguously placing your bet directly in front of you. And that's it. You've made your first bet. So craps, and especially the pass line bet, is different from other casino bets because your wager isn't necessarily resolved after a single event. In blackjack and baccarat and poker, you win or lose after a single hand. In roulette, you win or lose after a single spin.
Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Yes!
But in craps, your bet may lock you into a contract that you can't back out of until the puck returns to the off position. And the pass line bet is one such contract bet. Now, it is possible to win or lose your pass line bet in a single roll. The first roll that you make is called the come out roll, and it's made when the puck is in the off position. On the come out roll, you'll win your bet if it's a total of 7 or 11. Also, on the come out roll, you will lose your bet if it's a total of 2, 3, or 12. When any of these 5 numbers happens on the come out roll, your bet is resolved and the puck will remain in the off position. But if the dice result in any other total, that's a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, then a point is established. The number that was just rolled becomes the point, and the dealer will flip the puck to the on position and place it on the designated area for that number. Now that the point has been established and the puck is in the on position, only 2 numbers matter: the point and the 7. From here on out, your pass line bet will win when your point is rolled. This is called making your point. But you will lose your pass line bet if a 7 is rolled before your point. And when you roll a 7 when a point is established, it's called a 7 out. When either of those numbers are rolled, the roll is over and the puck is returned to the off position. Since this is a contract bet, you won't be able to pull back your pass line bet after the point is established. Once the puck is back in the off position, you can collect any winnings and make your next pass line bet. So let's see a few examples of how the pass line bet works. So here we're just going to be betting $10 on the pass line.
They're coming out 10.
And here we've established
8,
a point of 10.
6.
We roll
5,
some inconsequential
5,
numbers and then finally we hit
10,
our point of 10.
Easy 10.
And we
Pay the
win
line.
$10. Under total wins for this app, it actually says the total wins is $20. But just keep in mind that includes the $10 that we bet and the $10 that we won. So we receive $20 back. Our original $10 bet and the $10 win. And we're going to bet another $10 on the pass line.
They're coming out 4.
And we establish a point of 4.
8. Craps 3.
We roll a couple of times and
7
we
out.
7 out. So in this case, we lost $10. So here we're going to bet another $10.
They're coming out.
And we
11.
win on the come out
Pay the
roll with an
line.
11. That's a yo 11. You'll hear yo 11 as a common phrase in craps. So we're going to bet another $10 on the pass line.
They're coming out 9.
We establish a point of 9.
7 out.
And we immediately 7 out. This is known as point 7 out. You establish a point and you immediately 7 out. One of the worst situations you can get in craps. So here's another come out roll, $10.
They're coming out 2.
And we crap
Craps
out.
2.
2, 3, 12 is called craps. We crap out. We lose our original $10 bet. And let's make one more $10 pass line
They're
bet.
coming out 6.
We establish a point of 6.
8. 9. 7
And
out.
then we eventually 7 out. With this simple bet, you've learned how to play a casino game with a very small house edge. The house edge for the pass line bet is just 1.41%. So for every $1,000 you wager, you're only expected to lose around $14. That's not as good as the 1.06% house edge for the banker bet in baccarat, but it's only about a quarter of the house edge of 00 roulette. So now you're familiar with how the pass line works. But there's an additional bet you can add to the pass line bet to greatly lower the house edge. This is known as the free odds bet, or simply the odds bet. And it's called the free odds bet because there is zero house edge on this supplemental wager. That means that the casino makes no money off this bet in the long run. So what is the odds bet? When you have a pass line bet and you establish a point, you're allowed to make an odds bet in addition to the initial bet. The amount of money you can add to your pass line bet varies from casino to casino, but it used to be standard that you could bet double your initial bet on the odds bet. So if you bet $10 on the pass line, you'd be able to bet an additional $20 behind on the odds bet. Now, in order for this wager to eliminate the house edge, you'd have to get paid different payouts depending on what the point is. There are only 3 ways to roll a 4 and a 10, but there are 5 ways to roll a 6 and an 8, so a point of 4 or 10 is more difficult to roll. There are 6 ways to lose the odds bet on a point of 4, but only 3 ways to win. So the odds bet on a point of 4 will pay $6 for every $3 bet, or 2 to 1. There are 6 ways to lose the odds bet on a point of 5, but only 4 ways to win. So the odds bet on a 5 will pay $6 for every $4 bet, or 3 to 2. And similarly, the odds bet on the points of 6 and 8 pay 6 to 5. Unlike in blackjack, 6 to 5 in craps can be a good thing. So my suggestion for people playing craps is to bet the max possible on the odds bet. Most casinos in Vegas now offer 3, 4, 5 odds, which means you can bet 3 times your bet on the 4 and 10, 4 times your bet on the 5 and 9, and 5 times your bet on the 6 and 8. So once your point is established, place the additional odds bet behind your pass line bet. And calculating the payouts for the 3, 4, 5 max odds bet is easy. If you bet the max, you'll always get paid a total of 7 units when you hit. So if you bet $10 on the pass and $30 on your odds for the 10, you'll win 7 times 10 or $70 when you hit. That's $10 for the pass line bet and $60 for the $30 odds bet, which pays 2 to 1. If you bet $10 on the pass and $40 on your odds bet on the 9, you'll win 10 plus 60 as well. You'll always win 1 unit on the pass line and 6 units for the odds. And let's check out the pass line with odds bet in action. So now we're going to try the pass bet with full odds, and we're going to assume a 3, 4, 5 times odds table. That means we can bet 3 times odds on 4 and 10, 4 times odds on 5 and 9, 5 times odds on 6 and 8. So in our first roll, we bet $10 on the pass, and we establish a point of 6.
The point is
we can put an extra $50 on that. If we win, we'll win 10 plus 60. Now for this app, you don't put the odds bet behind the pass line. They have a designated area where you make the odds bet. This is different than what you would experience in a brick and mortar casino. Normally, you'd put the odds bet behind the pass line, closer to you, where you're standing. But we immediately 7 out. So let's try this again. Another $10 on the pass line.
9.
We establish a point of 9. We can put $40 on the odds bet for that. And again, we immediately 7 out. That's a loser. Let's try this one more time.
10.
We establish a point of 10. We can put $30 on the odds bet.
9.
We roll an inconsequential 9, and then we roll a 10. That means we win $70. That's 10 plus 60. And if you include the $10 plus the $30 that we put on the odds, that's another $40. That's why under total wins it says $110. $40 of that 110 is what we already bet. Some people think just betting the pass line is boring, and I don't disagree. It can be frustrating watching others make money on every roll while you're just seeing inconsequential numbers for your pass line bet. If you'd like to be involved in more results than just your point, you can bet the come as well. And the great thing is that you already know how the come bet works. The come bet is exactly like the pass line bet, except you can only bet the come when the puck is in the on position. When you bet the come, you bet it like the pass line bet and place your wager directly in front of you, but in the come area. After you place the come bet, the next roll is that bet's personal come out roll. Your come bet will win on 7 and 11, and it will lose on a 2, 3, or 12. One difference between the pass line bet and the come bet is that the dealer will pick up the bet when the point is established, and they'll place it on the number representing that bet's point. And they'll place it on one of 8 areas on that number, depending on where you're positioned at the table. So if you're standing here, your come bet would be placed here. And you can just keep betting more and more come bets as long as you want, as long as the puck is in the on position. This means you can have all 6 numbers working for you, the main point and up to 5 come bets. You can stop betting come whenever you want, but if you think the shooter is hot, It's a great way to spread your money around with little house edge. And just like with the pass line, you are able to take odds on your come bet. So you can add an additional 3, 4, or 5 units to your come bet once the point is established. When you hand the odds bet to the dealer, tell them you want odds and they'll put it on top of the come bet with a little offset step so they'll know which part is the main bet and which part is the odds. There is one main exception between the odds bet on the pass line and the odds bet on the come bet, and that is that the odds are not working if the puck is off. This can happen if you have a come bet working and the shooter makes their point. On the following come out roll, your come odds won't be working and they will be returned to you if the come out roll is a 7. And if the come out roll is the number you are looking for, you won't get paid for it. You can request that the odds bet be working, but make sure the dealer hears you before the shooter shoots. So let's see a few examples of some come bets with odds. And now we're going to play with betting on the pass line as well as some come bets with full odds. I'm just going to bet $10 on the pass line and I'm not going to put any odds on them just to make this simple. And I'm going to be putting $10 on the come and I'll be making 1, 2, or 3 active come bets. $10 come bets with full odds.
4.
So
The
our
point
first
is
roll is a 4,
easy
that's our
4.
point. And I'm going to put $10 on the come.
5.
We rolled a
5,
5,
5.
so the
The
come
roll
bet
is
moves to the 5.
5.
And I'm going to put another $40 in odds on that 5.
8. CRAPS 12.
We roll a couple
8.
of inconsequential numbers,
7
but then
out.
we eventually 7 out. We lose both the pass line and the come bets and the come bet odds. So this is a new come out roll.
6.
The point is 6, so we have $10 on the 6, and I'm going to start betting the come.
6.
So here,
Easy 6.
the come bet
Pay the
moves to
line.
the 6, but we win the pass line. But I'm still going to put full odds on that 6, that's $50. And normally on the come out roll, your odds bet is not going to be active. It's not going to be quote unquote working. But for this app, it actually doesn't turn it off. So it is actually live. It is actually working. Let's see what we roll.
4.
So we roll a 4. That's the new point. But at this point, it doesn't affect our come bet now. We have $10 on the 6 and $50 on the odds for the 6.
6.
And then we
Easy
immediately
6.
roll a 6.
The
So we
roll
actually win our
is
come bet
6.
with odds. So we had $60 on the 6, 10 plus 50, and we win another $70. That's why the total wins says $130. At this point, now we only have money on the pass line, the 4,
5.
and we roll a
5,
5, so the come bet moves to the
The
5,
roll
and I'm going to
is
take full
5.
odds on that. That's another $40.
6. 11. 10. 6.
So we have a
8.
couple of inconsequential numbers that
5.
we roll,
5
and then we
FIFA
do
5.
hit the
The
5.
roll
So
is
that 5 does
5.
win. It says total win is 120. That's 10 plus 40 plus 70. We win 10 plus 60, and we have our $50 worth of bets returned to us. Now I'm going to just keep betting the come, and we're going to have multiple come bets active.
5.
So
5
now
FIFA
that come
5.
bet moves to the
The
5.
roll
I'm going to
is
take full odds on it.
5. 4. Easy
So
4.
now we hit the
Pay the
4.
line.
We've made our point. And this is another scenario where in a brick and mortar casino, our odds would not be working on this next roll.
5.
So we actually do hit our point. We do hit the 5. This app pays us. This app assumes our odds bet is working. That's going to be different than what you experience in a brick and mortar casino. And let's bet the come again.
4.
The point is 5,
4.
and we
The
move our
roll
come
is
bet to the 4.
4.
We're going to take full odds on that, and we're going to bet the come again.
8.
8. So the
Easy
come bet
8.
moves to the 8.
The roll is
We're going to take full
8.
odds on that, and we're going to bet come one more time.
10.
So with
Easy
that 10, our come bet
The
moves to
roll
the
is
10, and we're going to
10.
put $30 worth of odds on that. We're going to bet come again,
4.
and we hit
Par
our
4.
4. So
The
we
roll
win our
is
bet that's on the 4, including odds. That's $70 net profit. And then our come bet moves to the 4. We're going to take full odds on that.
5.
So now we roll a 5. We actually hit our pass line point, but our come bet does move to the 5. We're going to take odds on it. I'm actually not going to put the odds on the 5, and we're just going to roll one more time.
They're coming out. 7 out. Pay the line.
So now we 7 out and we lose everything. This is actually a pass line win. And normally our odds bets would be returned to us because they wouldn't be working. But with this app, the odds bets are always working. So that's it. Now on the flip side of the pass line bet, is the don't pass bet. Since you know how the pass line bet works, you know 99% of how the don't pass bet works. The don't pass bet loses when the pass line wins, and the don't pass bet wins when the pass line loses. There is just one exception to this opposite bet. If the come out roll is a 12, you don't win, you just push. This is what is meant when you see don't pass bar 12 on the felt. They are barring you or restricting you from winning this bet when a 12 is rolled. And sometimes you'll even see a craps table that says don't pass bar 2. On these tables, you'll just push on the don't pass bet when a come out 2 is rolled. Casinos have to bar one of these two numbers in order to maintain the house edge. And the overall house edge for the don't pass bet is 1.40%. This is nearly identical to the 1.41% house edge for the pass line bet. And since you know how the come bet works, you know how the don't come works. Same with the don't pass, it's the flip side of the other bet, but the 12 or the 2 will be barred. And just like the pass line odds bet, you can make a don't pass odds bet with 0 house advantage. For the don't pass odds bet, you're betting on the favorite side of the odds bet. So if the point is 4, instead of betting 3 units to win 6, now you're betting 6 units to win 3. So if you make a $10 don't pass bet and the point is 4, you'd back it up with a $60 don't pass odds bet and you'd win $30 if the shooter 7s out. So for 4 and 10, you get paid $1 for every $2 on your odds bet. For 5 and 9, you'd get paid $2 for every $3 of your odds bet. And for 6 and 8, you'd get paid $5 for every $6 of your odds bet. So you may be wondering, since the don't pass bet has a lower house advantage than the pass bet, shouldn't you just bet don't pass? That all depends on your personal preference. In the long run, you will lose less money betting don't pass. For every $10,000 that you bet on don't pass, you'd save $1 compared to betting $10,000 on pass. You have to ask yourself if that $1 is worth betting against a table where you'd be cheering every time they lose. Many people hate when others bet the dark side by betting the don't pass and don't come bets. Personally, I like playing along with the table and cheering along when the table is doing well. To me, it's not worth that 0.01% of house edge to be the table villain. Which gets us to our next topic. Now, craps players are some of the most superstitious gamblers out there. The only group of people that are more superstitious in the casino are probably the high-limit baccarat players. You probably won't find a lot of people getting mad and destroying the equipment at a craps table like they regularly do in baccarat. But you might get a lot of people yelling at you if you don't follow common etiquette at the craps table. So here are a few things you should be mindful of while playing craps. So don't buy in while a point is in progress. We've already talked about this, but it does bear repeating. And you should never say the word 7, especially if a point has been established.
Whatever you do, don't roll a 7!
Why would you say that?
People will think you've summoned up the number with your power of suggestion if the next roll is a 7 out. And while waiting for the shooter, never hang your arms over the rail. If the dice hit your hand and the shooter 7s out, you will definitely be blamed. And you should avoid betting the dark side unless you're fully comfortable with a table full of evil stares. And you'll only get side eye if you're lucky. You might see the table bust out with torches and pitchforks if you bet the don'ts. If you really want to bet the don'ts, you can always try a bubble craps game. Bubble craps is a solo game with your own set of dice, and betting the don'ts won't affect anyone else. Doing any of these things will make you the target of everyone's frustrations if you kill someone's hot streak.
I have your mojo, and I'm taking it with me to the moon.
Realistically, none of this stuff matters, so you can choose how angry you want to get when someone else does it. But when it comes to not pissing off the rest of the table, I would just avoid making these faux pas. Now, we've covered a lot about the game of craps, but we haven't covered the actual act of rolling the dice. So whenever a player 7s out, the responsibility of rolling the dice is offered to the next player clockwise around the table. So when you first pony up to the table, it's possible that you might be the next in the rotation. If it's your first time and you're feeling overwhelmed by the new experience, you can always decline shooting. Unless you're the only person at the table, the dealers won't even give it a second thought. They'll just offer the dice to the next person on your left. But if you want to roll, here are a few quick rules you should follow. When the set of dice are spread out in front of you, pick 2 of them. Any 2. Before you roll, make sure no one is in the middle of making a bet, especially people on the other side of the table. Most dealers want to see you throw a little bit higher than the rim of the table, so there should be some height to your throw. Don't just roll them on the ground like you're playing Monopoly. You also need to hit the back wall with your throw. Try to keep the dice on the table. Don't throw them so hard that they unpredictably bounce everywhere. Don't intentionally throw the dice at any bets, especially large towers of chips. Don't blow or kiss the dice or offer them to someone else to blow or kiss. You can take some time to set up the dice in your hand, but don't take too long. You'll usually be warned a couple of times about breaking rules before the crew starts to get upset with you. So how do I play? I just bet the pass line and take max odds. And when I want to get more money on the table because I think a shooter is hot, I make a couple of come bets with max odds as well. It's basically the plain vanilla missionary starfish way of playing craps. If you really want to lower the house edge to the minimum, you can bet the don't pass and don't come with full odds as well. Just don't be surprised if the table gives you attitude when you win. And if you're looking to nearly eliminate the house edge, you can find a casino that offers 10 times odds or even 100 times odds. With 100 times odds, you can cut the house edge to around 0.02%. That means you'll only lose $2 for every $10,000 that you bet on average. What's your crap strategy? Let me know in the comments below. If you learned something, remember to like and subscribe. Always gamble responsibly, never bet the big 6, big 8, and peace out, donkeys.